So, welcome and thank you for joining us for a solutions-focused approach to adapting in turbulent times. I'm Glen Lubbert, co-founder of Be Your Own Best Coach, a 5-week group coaching program which begins its fall session next Tuesday, October 13th. And I'll be guiding you through today's session with my colleague and fellow co-founder, Deborah Teplow. Hi, Deborah.
Hello and welcome.
So during the next 30 minutes, you'll learn 4 practical solution-focused steps you can take to adapt and thrive in these turbulent times. But let's first talk about getting grounded. So simply getting grounded and just feeling a sense of calm. You know, right now there's a lot of uncertainty and sometimes we're in the throes of panic, and our very ancient primal fight, flight, or freeze animal defense that have our roots in our evolution, they bubble up and take control of us, and we may feel frozen or numb, and we engage in busy activities or behaviors to escape. So I like to start all my sessions and all the ones we do for Be Your Own Best Coach with a grounding practice. So we're going to start. I invite you to sit up in your chair with your spine nice and straight and your feet firmly planted on the ground. And I invite you to close your eyes. Just notice your breath, even the firming of your feet on the ground is a calming effect to your nervous system. Notice your breath coming in and filling up your belly, then your chest. Belly rise, belly fall. When you're ready, I invite you to open back up your eyes and welcome back. Thank you for that. So today our topic is a solution-focused approach to adapting in turbulent times. And change is a given and adaptability is a choice. So that's really our theme for the fall session of Be Your Own Best Coach. And it's so relevant in today's world. As humans, we like to say that stay in a nice and cozy space because we're hardwired through evolution to first and foremost seek safety. So we like to be nice and cozy. And we're also blessed with the capacity to adapt, because without this skill, we would never have evolved or survived this long. And right now, in this so many challenging times where the world feels so turbulent for so many, it's a challenge to adapt. And so I want to start off by asking you, Deborah, to talk about how do we adapt? How do we know when we've achieved the state of where we're not just stressed out?
Oh, well, I loved your questions, Glenn. So thank you. It's a great question. And one that most everybody, if not everyone, either has asked, is asking, or will ask. And we will get into our 4 steps, or 4 practical steps as we promised. But first, it's important to say 3 things. And in our talking, I had said to Mark, there's one for you here. So, well, number 1, this is a horribly stressed out time. It's normal to feel stressed out. And that's what uncertainty and turbulence does. It unsettles us. So that's number 1. So, sometimes I tease in our training when people are trying out new things and kind of fumbling around. And I say, I'm sorry to tell you, you're not all that special, because everybody, fumbles around with new stuff, trying on new things. And also people are fumbling around now that nobody, these are unprecedented times. So whatever is happening with you now, I would say don't beat yourself up. So, because it is normal to feel unsettled, it is normal to not do everything you want to do, not do the things that you want to do the way you want to do them, or have some really rough moments. So that is normal. And instead of beating yourself up, this is the number 2, or trying to run away from feeling stressed out, first honor it and be curious about it. And curious is without judgment. So it's observing and doing what anyone, even a little kid, does when they're curious. So they examine it from many different angles. They treat it gently. Of course, if you're a little kid, you might be, slamming something new on the floor, the desk to see how it works. But, there's that sense of wonderment. And this is not to say that, these hard times, like I'm not talking Pollyanna, but I'm saying to open your eyes, to honor what's going on, to be very present, to be curious. And I say also wonder because stress is a cue for us to take note and to do something different. When we feel stress, when the headache or the stress or, the tension or whatever, it's like, it's our internal cue going, hey, got to watch out, take a note. And so you mentioned, Glenn, what can we do? None of us wants to be stressed out.
How do we adapt? Yeah, that's key.
Yeah, how do we adapt? So one thing that is more a problem orientation, and we'll get into this a little bit more, but we think about what we don't want. So we think we don't want to be stressed out. We don't want to feel so lost. We don't want to feel this or that. And the issue with that is that you can't get somewhere if you don't know where you want to get. And where you want to get, it's not just, you can't do the absence of something. So I don't want to be stressed out. Okay, but what do you want to be instead? So that's that magic word. We've written some blogs about that.
Instead.
That's it. That's the magic word, instead. So it's, what do you want to be instead of stressed out? And that's key, because again, you can't get to where you're going if you don't have any idea of where you want to go to. So ask yourself, what do you want to do instead of being stressed out? And remember, the predictability is the key to reducing the kind of stress that we're in now. So think about some routines that you do every day, day in and day out, that can help anchor you. And that opens the door to our looking at a solution-focused approach to help you at this time when adapting to the new norm is so important. So first of all, before I go on, I want to ask Glenn, any questions for me so far, or anybody else on the call?
Yeah. So, one of the things that you mentioned is you talk about you said, I don't want to I don't want to be stressed out. I don't want to, feel like this. I don't want to, whatever. When you say that, when you're focusing on that, that's reinforcing that, correct?
Absolutely.
So you're not getting somewhere else because you just keep reinforcing because you're saying, I don't want to.
Right. And I often reference a book written in the 1970s called Diets Don't Work. And they have very, very evocative story about a piece of pie in the refrigerator. I think it's lemon meringue. That's why it's in the fridge, right? Yeah, big lemon meringue pie. And you're on a diet. And so you keep telling yourself, don't eat the pie. Don't eat the pie. The pie's right there. I know it is, but don't eat it. Your body, it doesn't know. Can't taste don't, it can't smell don't, it can't touch don't, none of the 5 senses knows don't. But what does your body know? What does your brain know? It knows the taste of pie. It knows what pie looks like. It knows the mouthfeel pie, the smell, etc., etc. So as you're saying, the don't do pie, don't eat pie, you're actually reinforcing and you're priming yourself for pie. So when we say, don't feel stressed, we know stress, but again, we don't have a visceral knowledge of don't. So that's why it's so important to have not only a clear idea, but a very detailed idea of what you do want.
because when what you said there, which makes you remember this, is that it's knowing it with your senses, knowing with all of your senses. So the instead, you want it just like the thing you don't want, you can feel it with all your senses. You want to know the instead with all your senses.
Exactly. And if you're in a conversation with yourself, say, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. I wish I didn't procrastinate so much. Okay, well, what would you like to do instead? Or, a kid's whining about being, bored. Okay, what do you want to do instead? Just the instead work is like a magic key to open a door for possibilities and for change.
Fantastic. Does anybody else have any questions so far? All right, well, listen, let's hear about the 4 steps.
Okay, so this is very solution focused. The first step, and it's a kind of universal question that is asked in a solution focused approach, is what are your best hopes? So we're asking ourselves, what are the best hopes for the day? Our best hopes could be for this meeting, this one little conversation. It could be, what are our best hopes for today? What are our best hopes for the week? Or what are the best hopes for my life, depending on where you're at in your life and what you want to consider. So instead of the troubles you may be experiencing and distress you may be feeling and thinking, how can I get rid of it? How can I cope? It's really to take the big picture. What would you want instead? What are your best hopes for yourself? And what that does, and notice it's what are your best hopes? It's not what are my goals? Because goals we often think of as a number: run 5 miles a day, lose 20 pounds, eat a baby carrot with lunch, whatever. Those are goals. But again, your body, your mind, they don't know 20 pounds. They don't know 5 miles. They do know the visceral experience of that, and they know the result of that. So the first question, practical, or what are your best hopes for whatever time period or whatever situation you're looking at? And these are hard questions.
And then that's when you define that, that's to define it with all your senses. Again, like what does it feel like? What does it taste like or sound like or smell like, right?
Yeah, and we'll get into that. Yeah, exactly. And it's also a matter of really letting your imagination go and your creativity. What are your best hopes? All without cost, without, not considering anything. What are your best hopes? And then the second step is, what would you notice that would tell you that you're living right now? Imagine that your best hopes came to reality. And ask yourself what you would notice. What would you notice that would tell you that you are living in a way that's just right for you, just right for your life, and fits you perfectly. And notice, okay, so if my best hope is X, I imagine, okay, I have achieved X, I've gotten to X, I'm living the way that is X. What would I notice that would tell me, oh, wow, I am in X land? And then, so it's about defining what are your best hopes for this time period. What would, imagine that you arrived and your best hopes were achieved. What would you notice? What are the tiniest things you'd notice that would tell you, I've achieved it, I'm here? And then name one thing and then ask yourself, what else? So these can be card questions. So give yourself time, because the answers will come to you, and keep asking what else questions. You'll be amazed how many rich details you'll uncover. So as you said, Glenn, think of the 5 senses. And the idea is the rich detail, because in your imagination, as you're conjuring up the rich detail, your nervous system is experiencing it. The brain can't tell the difference between, 1 taste of pie and 5 tastes of pie. It's pie. And so similarly, we're experiencing that when we harness the imagination. We're really walking through in tiny detail the presence of our best hopes. We are in our nervous system experiencing it. So it's living, it's living as if we've achieved that. So keep asking, and what else? And what else would I notice? And think in terms of the 5 senses. And again, don't discount the simple routines that can give you a sense of rootedness. So in your best hopes, what would you be doing the very first thing? You open your eyes. What do? You get out of bed, you pee, you brush your teeth, you wash your hands, whatever. Don't discount those routines, because even boring routines are good for you right now. So that's step number 2. Step number 3 is, what are elements of that best hopes life that are already in place? So one thing that's true for all of us is that a lot of what we do is we're on automatic. Who's gotten into their car to go home from work thinking, oh, I've got to pick up the dry cleaning or whatever. You end up at home and go, hey, how did I get here? I thought I had to go dry clean. That's living on automatic. And that's a great thing to do, because if we had to make a decision and figure out every single thing that we had to do during the day, we would never get anything done. So that part of us that helps us live and take care of that routine thing on automatic is called implicit memory. And that kind of memory is like riding the bike. Once you learn, you never forget. And it frees us up to do other creative, more productive things that are out of our ordinary. But right now, we invite you to turn up the dial on your attention to those small details and notice that even the tiniest things that are already present in your life that can move you forward into the future, that will reflect those best hopes for you. And then the 4th step is, what are the tiniest, most minute signs that you're moving into your life in that direction already? So see yourself in the best hopes. Ask yourself, what are the tiny details that would be present in the best hopes? What's already there? And what am I doing, even the tiniest things, to move myself forward into living that best life, living the best hopes for myself?
Yeah, the first three I really get, because it's kind of time traveling you already to the future, and you're already there. You've already done it, and your brain doesn't know the difference that it's not, hasn't done it, but it does. It feels like it's done it. So it's like this kind of neat time travel thing. I like to think about it as I'm already there in the future doing it, which then helps my current self be like, oh yeah, you can do it because you've already done it. So I think that's neat. But then the last one though, that's more helping you get the present person moving, your present self moving in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of how I see these. Yeah.
Right, exactly. It's to notice what's already present, and then what are you doing, maybe taking active, like, well, I do want to clean my desk up. And, I realize that I've got some, I did get the folders. So, I did get the folders, or I do have a space on my desk, or I do have a container for my pencils, or whatever it is. And this is a kind of a practice of mindfulness without the meditation. It's really being very much in the moment and noticing new things, noticing things that are working, noticing the solution that's already present. And in our Be Your Own Best Coach course, we'll talk about some of the things that actually block us and make us much more problem oriented than solution focused, and things we can do to be much more aware and mindful of when things are already present in our lives that we could amplify and capitalize on to be more effective in our lives and to live the way that we want to.
It's really it's a paradigm shift when you go from trying to focus on the trying to solve the problem to looking at what's working, and solution is not like just being happy-go-lucky. Let's look at everything's good solutions but it's just reorienting to possibilities.
Yeah. And it's very simple techniques and hard at the same time. We often say in our training, simple. This is not rocket science, no quantum physics or whatever, but it's hard because we're not oriented to that way. And that's not our common thinking. We're very oriented to, looking at the problems, thinking we have to dig down deep and understand the problems. We actually don't. We have to be able to do this, to harness our imaginations and our creativity to shape in our minds the kind of future, the kind of life we want to live, and then be very disciplined and persistent in asking the what else? What else would we notice and around us? To take those moments when things are going right, maybe when the problem isn't so severe, and asking, how did we do that? How do we make that happen? And taking agency and noticing what we're doing. It doesn't just happen, but we're actually doing things that help us and can help us in the future live better. And I think that's part of adaptation. It's adapting and also harnessing the opportunity to look fresh at how do I manage? How can I maximize the opportunities in a very difficult situation? How can I come out stronger?
You know what? I think you just hit on really what a key part of what the adaptation piece is, which is looking for possibilities, and that's really getting into the heart of the adaptation. And I know you had we're going to sum this up into 3 questions, and so I wanted to get the opportunity to do that before we can go into just a few minutes of Q&A for our course. So yeah.
Okay, so we had the 4 practical steps, 3 simple questions. What are your best hopes? And what difference will it make in your life? What would your life be like if your hopes were realized? So what difference would it make? And what are you already doing now that might, in some way, even the tiniest way, contribute to your desired future?
So those are good 3. Those 3 questions are great to have as a like a template or a journaling template to go into when you get stuck, is to have this and pull it out and keep this in your note book or your virtual notebook or whatever to pull out and be able to help reorient you for this ability to adapt when the challenge comes. Yeah. So I wanted to see if anybody has any questions about the 4 steps that we went over, or these 3 questions. Does anybody have any questions they want to ask?
How long should you spend on figuring out what your best hopes are? Because I tend to be a perfectionist.
That's a great question. Nobody's ever asked me that. Thank you. As long as you want, as long as it takes. I will say that some people have a hard time. They're so kind of mired in the problems or thinking what they don't want. Well, I don't want to be this. I don't want to be that. So you have to be very disciplined with very simple stuff. Ask, what do you want instead? What do you want instead? And ask the what else question. Once you've got a tiny leverage, you've opened that door a little bit, then maximize it, amplify it. And what else? It's amazing what you can do with those simple questions.
How do you, if you're interested in a variety of things and in this ADD world, how do you narrow down of what to actually focus and pursue?
I don't think you have to. Paint your preferred future and then ask what difference those things will make. And what's remarkable is they'll all probably come down to 1 or 2 things. In fact, the solution-focused practice developed about 30 years ago from a big group practice, a therapy practice in Milwaukee, a family practice, and they're all struggling to get good outcomes from these families. And it was a big group practice. It was in hundreds of families, and everybody had their own, special problem. All the problems were very different. And then they had the light bulb go on because they realized, even though all the families had all these different problems, they all wanted the same thing. What do you think it was? They all wanted to just plain be happier and get along with each other and get along in life, just move along in life. And that's what we found over and over with teaching this to thousands of people, that everybody's very different. Everybody has their own special, unique way of going about their lives. The bottom line that everybody wants, people just want to live comfortable, Glen said cozy, comfortable, just get on with life, get on with people and feel happy. And that's the result.
Very cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions on these 4 steps and these fantastic 3 questions? I think those are already 3 great nuggets. If that's all we walk away with, those 3 questions, that'll go a long way. And one of the things that I think is a challenge, it is for me, but where the magic happens is in that what else question, because that's where you're just peeling back the layers and just really that what else question. It really is a challenging question, but really that's where I find the most reward in these exercises. And we definitely go deeper into these solutions focused concepts and the questions that we can ask ourselves during the 5 weeks for Be Your Own Best Coach. And we go into different frameworks to be able to address the change that we want to make after we've identified this best future that we want to have, and how do we go about the day-to-day, the nitty-gritty change that we want to have. How do we actually go about that? And so I want to ask if anybody has any questions about the course. But I want to start off by asking one of the questions about the course first is, if anyone wants to take the course, what do they need to do to prepare or get ready to show up for Be Your Own Best Coach the first day?
Oh, so in my view, enroll and show up. That's really it. And come curious.
Curiosity. Yeah. Curiosity. That's really at the heart of it. And so does anybody else have any questions about the course? Yeah, go ahead, Anna.
I always have questions. Sorry. How much time should we anticipate doing homework and things like that?
Well, I'll fill one part of it out. We do have our hour session each week where we're learning about the different concepts, and then we have a half an hour after each session for actual skills practice. And Deborah going to talk a little bit more about the skills practice part. And then add in that we have 1 hour of open office hours, which is optional if you want to come in and ask us questions on chat. So that's the main hub of the course. But then you can go beyond that. And you want to talk a little bit more, Deborah?
Yeah, I mean, we do have an assignment. We have a daily interactive journaling.
Yes.
That's really cool. People have loved it. And it's not like keeping a diary. We guide you through. That's the interactive part. And it includes it's got some really cool stuff people have loved. Really, this course is, besides for the live parts, we have a number of bonus videos. So we'll record the live sessions. We have bonus videos, and it's really what you make of it, because we also offer references. So some people spend hours because they have the time and they're digging in deep. Other people come to the sessions, focus 100%, and have gotten a tremendous amount out of just those live sessions without doing as much on the back end. And some people use the assignments. They may not do all the assignments, but those assignments may act as inspiration during the week and thoughts and, orienting their thinking for during the week.
Yeah, the interactive journal is really a fantastic tool that Deborah brought up, because it prompts you with some great questions and some great insights that really it's just fun. It's fun to complete. I did it the last cohort all along with everybody else because it was new for us, and it was just a fun project to complete every day. And it was a great way to end the day because it's framing your day in such a way that you don't have to it's not like you're writing out a journal thing. It's just you're checking off boxes and saying, yes, this is, or circling ideas. This is how I feel. I really like that part of the course.
And it's very solution focused.
Yeah, exactly. Any other questions?
So you really have made it very easy then, which will get people to do it.
Yeah, we're all about that.
Yeah. So, some other questions that we had, if you can't attend all sessions, they're obviously all recorded, and then you have lifetime access to not only the recordings, but you can come back for future cohorts. I know we have some students that are going to come back for this future cohort that took previously. That we have a certificate at the end, and yeah, I think those are some good key questions that we have from previous Q&A sessions.
Yeah, I think one thing is somebody asked, what kind of results can I expect from, can I do X? Can I do Y? And, I'll just answer kind of a solution focused approach is that everybody has their unique needs, wants, desires. And ultimately, no matter who you are or what issues you come with into the course, we ask consistently, give us 2 or 3 words that describe your experience, what you got out of the course. And people aren't that creative. They say, I'm happier, I'm more optimistic, I feel like I have more control in my life, I have better relationships, and I'm teasing that people aren't that creative. I mean, invariably, no matter who, what, where, that is the result. People feel happier, they feel more confident, they're more optimistic, and things are better. So, pretty awesome.
So I just want to give one last opportunity to ask any questions about the course. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I hope the 4 steps and the 3 key questions were valuable for you. And I want to let everyone know to check out beyourownbestcoach.com, where you can find more information about the 5-week program. And enrollment closes at noon Pacific time next Tuesday, October 13th. And we won't open again until next spring when we do this. So we don't do this all the time. And that's why it makes it such a special time for us to put this together and collaborate together on this. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me or Deborah. Our email address is solutions@beyourownbestcoach.com. That's solutions@beyourownbestcoach.com. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Thank you, Deborah, for sharing so many great ideas. And then just thank you, everyone, for listening, and stay well.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great evening.
Thank you so much, y'all. Okay, have a good evening. Bye.